Well, howdy there, folks. Glad to see you come by. Got some more people over here, yep. Hey, guess what? We got old Skinny over here came back again there, young missy. Yeah, I done figured he done had enough. Yeah, he had something in common with that other fella, but he wasn't as bad-mouthed as that other one, no. That one here just had a problem with shaking his head and making faces. The other one just had a bad mouth. Should have had some of that lye soap and scrubbed his mouth out. Well, oh, I tell you what, just thinking about that tired me out. Well, now, I sit there and I told you that I was going to talk to you about them Copperheads. But see, there's a story about those Copperheads that goes way back. All the way back in, see, what year was that? That was in 1930, 1935. Yep, back into old New Orleans. But you know, you remember me telling you about old little Miss Hoojee Boojee, Marie LeVou? Yeah, had to do with that Hoojee Boojee woman. Now, a lot of stories about that woman. Now, I'll tell you that woman was downright unnatural. But, you know, a lot of them people over there, everyone's got their own customs and strange ways, but that was about the strangest thing I ever did say. I'll tell you, it was me and some of my buddies decided we were going to go out there and go coon hunting. Said it was the best coon hunting there ever was around out there. But they ended up leading me out in a dang swamp, and I hate swamps. Can't stand them rightly. But I suppose when you get around kind of close to them swamps, you can also guarantee you're going to get some gator around New Orleans. And I love gator. That's the best eating you ever did have. Anyway, it was me and old Slim Jim and old Slim Pickens. We called him Slim Petey. You know, and then we said, what was that other one? Bobber Bob, I believe it was. Never mind about going into how they earned their nickname. And then I remember we was going out one night. It was somewhere around 11 o'clock at night. Now, see, back in those days, it wasn't against spotlighting and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, you know, we went out to go coon hunting, and then I had old Gimpy. And, see, what was that other dog's name? Bobtail something. Can't remember. We'll just call him Bobtail. His tail got cut off by accident because stupid fella sit there. See, the dog was laying down, and the dog was sitting there sleeping, but he was sitting there having a dream, and his tail was a wagging, and dang fool thought it was a snake. Dang fool. But anyway, I fixed that fella. He cut my dog's tail off. I cut his tail off. Fool didn't do that ever again. But anyway, I remember we was out there, dogs just baying away and carrying on, and we was following after them. And then all of a sudden, old Gimpy and Bobtail came running back, just whimpering and carrying on something fierce. Couldn't figure out what in the blue blazing was going on. And we sitting there looking them over. They weren't hurt. You know, I couldn't figure it out. Then all of a sudden, sit there and hear the strangest noise coming out, and it was like, I don't know what you'd want to call it. It was some kind of, sounded like somebody set someone's tail on fire or something. He was out there, bunch of them, carrying on. We went out there and there was a fire in the distance, a little light, and we went out there and we snuck up on them, was watching them. And I'll be dang if I didn't see it and wouldn't believe it if I'd said I saw it anyway. There was a bunch of these folks out there. They was all wearing different colors. A lot of them wearing white. Black folk carrying on, and man, it looked like they were having convulsions or something. You know, it was really weird. They was just a shaking and a boogieing and everything else, you know. And so I remember that there was one woman, particularly, she was sitting on this big old funky looking chair. She gets up, she has this wrapping around her head and had these weird looking necklaces, looked like bones of fingers of dead people or something on her, you know. And she had the strangest looking eyes you ever did see. You swore they was a snake's eyes, you know. Of course, I think that was the light, you know, from the fire, you know, but it looked scary. So I remember we were just sitting there gawking, and, you know, I couldn't believe what we was seeing. And then, you know, old Slim Jim, he was getting real scared, you know, and he looks at me, he says, I don't know about you fellas, but I think I'm going to leave. I'm going to go now. He says, if that ain't nothing, you know, he says, that's nothing but haunts. He says, that ain't going to bring nothing but haunts. He says, that's the devil's work, what he said. I looked at him, I said, devil's work? What are you talking about? He says, see that lady over there? That's little old Miss Marie LeVou. And I said, what? He says, the Hoojee Boojee woman. I'm like, what? Then he went to telling me the story about this hoodoo, voodoo, Hoojee Boojee, and all this, and that woman was been seen dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, and all this kind of stuff, you know. I said, boy, I said, you need to get your head smacked a good one. He says, you know, maybe some sense to come in there, you know. Now, you ain't going nowhere, just stay put. I said, I tell you what, though, I says, if anyone needs to be afeard of anybody, I said, they need to be afeard of old me. That's what I told him. He looked at me, he said, what? I said, they ain't never met the likes of me. And so, anyway, we was watching him. Next thing you know, this lady said she's over rolling around on the ground. This Hoojee Boojee lady. She's sitting there rolling on the ground. We're thinking, man, maybe she's having a seizure or something, you know. I mean, it was the strangest sight you ever did see. And then next thing, old Slim Jim, and he's sitting over, he's over there, starts whimpering and everything, and he said, I gotta go home. And next thing you know, he's crying like a little girl. And I smacked him a couple of times. Then everybody over there that doing that partying and all that stopped. And they all looked over at us, and next thing you know, they picked up some sticks and put them in the fire and had some torches lit, and they were coming slowly at us, doing all that chanting. And boy, my buddies were just about ready to start running. I says, now if you run, I says, you're going to have to be scared of me. I said, you stay put. See, they forgot they had guns. But I said, now look, I got old Bessie here, and Bessie ain't never failed me yet. But I said, I want to show you something. So I was sitting there, I grabbed my lantern, looked around, and I sit there and I found me what I was looking for. Reached down in the water, grabbed me that thing, and I picked it up and I threw it over, and it landed right on Miss Hoojee Boojee. I never seen a woman to scream and holler like that in all my life, and boy, they all took off and went. The next thing you know, old Gimpy and Bobtail all took out after them too. It was funny. You know what it was? An old Copperhead. See, Copperhead, a lot of people don't know they're the best camouflage, critter. But they're very poisonous, like any other poisonous snakes, like rattlesnakes and water moccasins and all them. But see, that lady might have been a Hoojee Boojee lady, but see, she never had one of them suckers on her. And I think it must have bit her, because I remember it was told later on sometime, I don't know, it was a month later, heard tales that that lady had died. I think that Copperhead taught her a lesson, that's right. But see, I ain't afraid of no snakes, and I ain't afraid of no Hoojee Boojees or no haunts. Well, except one, but she's done gone now. She literally become a haunt, and that was my mother-in-law. My ex-mother-in-law, because she was... Now, that was one to be scared of, I'm telling you. But I'll tell you a lot more stories about my little escapades and all that kind of stuff. But, wow, now old Skinny over there, he's over there being quite polite. Now, hey, boy, you want some of that, awesome possum gravy and some, possum and some of that possum gizzards? Well, I don't believe it, Missy. I think that boy sit there, he wanting some.
Wow.
Well, we're going to have to give him up a good helping of that. I think that boy thinks that that's a Popeye food, instead of spinach. He thinks that's going to make him tough. Well, okay, y'all. Now, I'm sorry the story's going to be a little short, but, I'm glad y'all came by. You know the drill. If you want some of them sweet corn cakes, you can help yourself. And take your them styrofoam cups. Get you some iced tea, and and if you want a little helping of that awesome possum gravy and that awesome possum, and if you want some awesome possum gizzards, you just help yourself. But just don't be shy now. Just no takers, okay, except Skinny. Okay, well, we're gonna sit over and maybe chat a spell with old Skinny while the others go on home. And we're gonna see just how much of a man this boy became. So anyway, we're gonna go and we wanna say, what?
What about the paranormal?
Oh, the paranormal. We'll get that on another day there, Missy. You do remind me on the next one, we're gonna be sure to tell them about that. Because, the paranormal. I thought they called that paranormal.
Oh, wow.
The whole time I've been calling that paranormal. Well, okay. We'll catch y'all later. And y'all come back now, you hear?